Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Marina from Marina Art Design. The video you just watched is something I posted in my Facebook group, and it is about batch processing of my mazes in Adobe Illustrator. Someone asked for me to make a video, how am I doing this, how am I doing the batch processing, and this video is going to talk about that. It's going to be about batch processing of SVG files in Adobe Illustrator. This video has 6 parts. In description and also on YouTube player slider, you have them split as chapters. I recommend, if you never used batch processing before in Adobe Illustrator, that you watch the parts in the following order. Now, in my Creative Fabrica store, I have a lot of products. I have been focusing on mazes lately, all kinds of mazes, and I do love them. And I'm even exploring the world of maze generators, so we are talking about software development and coding, and I'm also sharing that part here on my YouTube channel. At the moment I have 2 maze generators published already, so Weave Maze Generator and Bridge Maze Generator, and more are on the way. In one of my previous videos, I showed to people that are downloading my SVG files from Gumroad or Creative Fabrica how they can make them even more unique to put in their books or printables. I also mentioned in comment that I do batch processing, and that is why I did that video, short video for my Facebook group, and that is why I'm doing this video. Somebody asked, can I show how I'm doing the batch processing? So before we start and switch to Adobe, let's go over some basics. I'm on Windows system, and here I'm not telling you to do this, I'm showing you how I'm doing it. You need to research what is the best method for your system and your computer. You can go on Adobe community and ask questions. You will also find a bunch of my posts leading to the system I'm running today. Now, I really dislike when people come to Adobe community and they ask questions and they figure out the answer, but they don't come back to actually share the answer with the community. If you search for batch processing and you find my posts, you will see everything that I researched, everything I discovered. You will see my codes, you will see the upgraded codes, and you will also at the end have a tutorial for beginners. I always share, if I resolved something, I always share tutorial for beginners at the end. Usually it's one of the last posts, how to get something done. So also I'm using the latest Adobe Illustrator, but I believe that you can do this in any version that has the ability to record actions. Also, I would like to mention that Adobe is not my preferred tool for drawing. I prefer Inkscape. But Adobe at the moment is the only tool I know of that can do batch processing I need. So that's why I'm basically using Adobe Illustrator just for batch processing. The next tool, and this is the most important one, once I discovered this tool, everything was resolved, and that is the Autohotkey. So what you have in Adobe Illustrator is that when you are running action, sometimes the action is paused and the system is requiring that you press Enter key, that you select and click OK. So basically pressing the Enter key. So when I first run action on one of my mazes, so one of my maze sets, it was asking me to press OK, 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 OK every 3 seconds. So what I did is I pushed my chair backwards and I did some squats for 30 minutes, and every time I squatted I pressed the Enter key, and that is how my first batch processing went. And I knew that's not going to be it's good for my health, but it's not going to be a very effective method of batch processing for you to press enter every 3 seconds. And that is how I discovered this tool. So basically what this tool is doing, it is simulating typing or pressing certain keys in specific time interval. So you can set it to, for example, simulate pressing of the enter key every 3 or 4 seconds. And another tool I would also recommend, but it's not necessary, is to get Microsoft Power Toys. The reason why this one is important is in Windows natively you cannot get him to show you SVG file, how it looks like without opening. So when you click on a file, SVG file, it doesn't show you in the preview what is inside the file. But if you install the PowerToys, it's going to do that. So that is the benefit of the PowerToys. So I don't have to actually open the SVG file. I can just see what is inside by looking at the preview. But that is not necessary for what I'm doing. That is just to increase the effectiveness. So the most important one is the Autohotkey. We still have more basics to go over. Once you have your images that you would like to edit, place them all in one folder and call that folder with a singular name. So the name of the folder should not contain spaces, and also link to that folder should not have spaces. So for example, you should not put this folder into My Documents. So something that has a space in the name. You can put it on desktop, you can put it on downloads, you can put it in any folder that once you click on it, that link in the tab, so C2 / blah blah blah, the rest of the text doesn't have spaces in it. Now, I know this already sounds like too many steps, but you need to learn from my mistakes. There's a reason for everything. Just please trust the process. Okay? So now you have the original folder with everything inside. Duplicate it just to have a backup if something goes wrong, and we are still not over. Create another folder. This one is going to be for testing of the action. So you don't need to have all the images in the testing folder. Just copy paste a couple of files so you can run the action on the testing folder to see is it working, so you don't mess up one of the original or duplicate folders. And once you have this ready, and after you install the Autohotkey, you need to have some codes to run. The two codes I'm using most of the time is the code to press Enter key. As you see from the name is Enter, and the extension is AHK, so Alpha Hotel Kilo. That is the extension of the code. So I'm going to have this code copied into the description, or maybe better the comment section, so you can just copy paste it into Notepad and then save it with any name you want. I'm using the Enter as a name, so just as an indicator what the code is doing, and then .ahk, so Alpha Hotel Kilo extension. And once you save it like that, it's going to be recognized by the Autohotkey program as a code to run. And let's review the code. At the beginning, in the upper left corner, you have the first letter there, letter A, and that is the actual key on keyboard that is going to be used to start the code and pause the code. So once I have the code in Notepad saved as AHK extension, and I double click on it, it's not going to run it. It's just going to be in like a limb of your computer. And if you want to actually run it, you need to press the key, and that key would be letter A. You can of course change this. You can make it any letter on keyboard, but from the website, the Autohotkey website where I downloaded this code, they set it to letter A, and it's working. So I do not like to complicate things that are working. So letter A it is. Letter A is what I'm using. And in most cases, you're not going to use your computer while this is running, so it doesn't matter what key is actually pausing or starting the action. So this one is actually set to press Enter key every minute. So 10,000, the number that you see here, the 10,000 is actually 1 minute. So if I want to reduce that to a couple of seconds, I need to put 400, 500, 600. So this is something that you can play around. You can test the values that it's going to work for you for specific action. The second code I'm using is to type and enter. So this one is actually typing something and then pressing the enter. You see the formulation is the same, and I have the number 42. I can put it to type anything. So it doesn't have to be number, it can be words, it can be number, it can be whatever. But for the purpose of the batch processing, I needed to type number. And I'm going to show you later on in the next steps why do we need this function of actually typing the value and then pressing the enter key. So what we need to do now is we need to switch to Adobe Illustrator. Before we switch to Adobe Illustrator, let me show you the action that we're going to do. So this is going to be a simple action just to start things up. I have the left maze. So this is one of my bridge mazes. So I have the left maze and I want to turn it into right maze. So you can see that the left maze has entrance point from the left and exit is on the right, bottom right. I want to flip this maze by 90 degrees in a clockwise direction, and I want to mirror it. I want to flip it as a mirror, so horizontally. So that is what I need to do. And let's say I have 1000 of these mazes and I want to batch process these mazes so they are flipped and rotated. So how I would do that in Adobe Illustrator. So let's switch to Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so we are now in Adobe Illustrator. This is one of my bridge mazes. I know that you are seeing these black triangles. I'm sorry, but I have no way of explaining why Adobe is doing this. If I open my file in any other program, this is not going to happen. And this is not going to print like this, so just please ignore this. I have no idea why Adobe is showing these black segments. They are not real, they are not existing, so just ignore them. You will see that as soon as I touch something, anything on the screen, they're going to disappear. So that is just something that Adobe Illustrator is doing for, I don't know why, but that is, just ignore it, just ignore it. And I have my menu here. It depends on your workstation how you like to have your things organized, but I like to have my tools and menus here on the right. If you do not have them here, you can easily activate the menu that we need to go to Window. Click on Window and click on Actions. So that is what we need. We need to record something. And we're going to start by creating the new action. So click on this tiny plus sign here. So click Create New Action. And let's name this action Flip It, because that is what we're going to do. We're going to flip this maze. So click Record. And now everything that I do, it's going to be recorded by Adobe Illustrator. So what I want is to select, click on Select All on Active Artboard. So that is the first thing I want Adobe Illustrator to do when they open a new file, to select everything that is only on artboard. And you will also see here that action has been recorded. So keep checking here, because sometimes you're going to do something and it's not going to be recorded. When that happens, there is also solution to that as well. So let's keep going. Now I want to go to Object, Transform and Rotate. And now I need to type here, I already did it, so it's 90 degrees, but you would need to type here 90 degrees and click OK. And I also want to mirror this. So I'm going to go to Object, Transform, and now I'm going to go to Reflect. And I'm going to click on Vertical. It's already selected by default for me. If it's not, just click on Vertical or Horizontal, whatever you want, and click OK. And you will see that it has recorded that here. So it is recording that. And that's it. This is how I want all of my mazes to look like. I want them rotated and then reflected. And I'm going to now stop recording. So now Illustrator is no longer recording what I'm doing. And I'm going to undo this actions I just performed on my maze. And now I'm going to click on the action, and I'm going to click on the play button to see what the action is doing. So click on the play, and now I have confirmed that the action is working, everything is looking good. Now that I have confirmed that the action is working, I can also test it on that testing folder. But if I'm happy with everything, if I'm happy, I can click on the action, and I'm going to click Record So it's now recording again. Why? If you run this action now the way it is on, let's say, 500 files, what this action is doing is opening the file, making the adjustments, and then moving on to the next file. It is not saving the file, it is not closing the file. And what you would get is you will have 500 open tabs files in your Adobe Illustrator, and probably that would crash your entire system. So what we need to do is to make sure that once the Adobe performs the action, it saves the file and closes the file. So let's go here. Now it's running. Go to the 3 lines here and click on Insert Menu Item. Insert Menu Item. And now type Save and click OK. And do it again. Insert Menu Item and type Close. Okay. And now I can stop recording. And now if I run this action, it's going to rotate, flip, save, and close. And if I run this action on a folder, it's going to do this to all the files in the folder. And for this action, this is a simple action, you do not need to press anything. So it's not asking you to press anything, it would just run. So let me just revert this, undo. Let me put the maze back to original state. So what is going to happen now if I click on this action and if I click play, so just be careful now, look what's going to happen because it's going to happen very fast. I'm clicking the play button. I'm not doing anything else, just clicking the play button. So this would be same as me running this action on multiple files. Do you see what happened? You see there is no more that maze tab open. So what this action did is opened, rotate, reflected, save, and closed the file. There was no need for me to do anything, and that is what you saw in that video at the beginning of this video. That was batch processing without any need of external tools, external softwares, because there is no need to press OK in between the steps. So Illustrator is not requiring that you press OK for anything. Now, let me open that file again, so I have it. Okay, so that was the first action. How would you now run this action on all the files in the folder? So you would click here on the 3 line, and on the bottom you have batch. So click on that, and you have the action here. So look for your action in the drop menu, click on it, and now choose the folder where you want this action to be performed. If there are any subfolders, you can also include all subdirectories as well. And once I press OK, the action is going to go through all the files in that folder and do the things that I said here in the action. So I'm not going to do that. You've seen that in the video. So click OK, and you can leave your computer alone until it's finished. So that was an easy case. Let's go back to PowerPoint and let's see what's the next one. So the next one is warping. So I have this maze on the left and I want to warp it like this. And I have the warp option menu that it's going to open. So let's see, let's go back to Adobe Illustrator. Let's go to that maze. So that's the maze here. And let's start new action and let's call it warp. And hit record. We need to start once again with forcing Illustrator to select everything on active artboard. So everything on the artboard. And we're going to go to effects and warp and wave. Okay, I believe this looks okay. We can change the value, and this is important to remember. I'm going to type here a number. So let's say I'm going to put 31. So just so you know, that is actually me controlling this number. So it's 31, and I'm going to click OK. Notice that it did not record that effect application. So that means I need to go to the menu, insert menu item, and I need to type wave, but I'm not going to click OK, I'm going to click find. So for the system to find that effect. So effect warp wave, that is what I want, and click OK, and now that effect is added here. Also, I want to expand this so the previous path is no longer visible. I want everything to be expanded. So I'm going to go to Object, Expand Appearance, and now you see the path is following the new shape of the maze. And once again, that was not recorded by the action here. So that means I need to go Insert Menu Item, Expand Appearance, Find. Okay, and now it is here part of the action. And I'm going to once again stop the action, and I'm going to undo, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z to revert the maze back to original state. And I'm going to test the action. And warp, press play. And now you see what is happening. The warp option, wave effect, it's not being done automatically. It is opening up the submenu, and now it is asking me to click OK. So I have to physically click OK here in order for action to continue. So once I click OK, it is finished. The action is finished. But if I'm not here next to the computer to press OK, the action is just going to pause, and it's going to stay there on the very first file that you're trying to process. So this is where we need Autohotkey. So we would set Autohotkey to press enter every 3-4 seconds. So once I run this action, let's click it again. And now if I run the Autohotkey, what's going to happen? I'm going to press A now. So I have the Autohotkey code active, and I'm pressing the A key. And now if I had multiple files in the folder, so if I go to batch processing now, go batch, and I run the action, it is actually going to press the OK, OK, OK all over and over. So I just can leave the computer on, and it's going to go over all the files in the folder. And Autohotkey is going to press this OK tab here, because the auto is automatic. So when this menu is open, if you press enter, it is actually selecting the OK key. It is not selecting the cancel key. So the OK is highlighted. I don't know, can you see it, but this OK is bolded. So when when I don't have a mouse on top of it, you see it is bolded. It is not the same thickness as cancel. So that means the OK is active. So right now, if I press enter, that means I'm pressing the OK key. What is important to note here is that you see I'm using the warp option wave. Every time I open it, it is memorizing the number I typed before. So it's staying on 31. So it's always 31. So I do not need to type 31 in order to get 31. It is always going to remain on the last number I put it in. So that is only for some of the effects. I don't know why, but only some effects memorize the number that was used last. And that was, okay, let's stop it because it's running the action. And that was this action. So this action requires that you have Autohotkey active. That is going to simulate the pressing of the enter key every now and then. Of course, this action is not finished. We need to add, save, and close in order for it to be complete. Let's go back to presentation. What is the next? Okay, so next one is to turn this maze into this maze here. I had a lot of questions in Creative Fabrica about this maze, how this maze was created, so I'm going to show you that. Let's go back to Adobe Illustrator. Let's switch to this one. So that's the one. And let's record the action. And this one is going to be a square circle. That is how I called it. Square circle. Record. Because we are making a circle into a square. Once again, we start with selecting everything on active artboard and go to effects and go to warp and go to which one it is, inflate. I believe it's inflate. Yes, so inflate and click OK, and once again you see it did nothing here, so that means I need to go to insert menu item, inflate, find effect, warp inflate. That's the effect I want to apply. Click OK, it's added. The next thing that I want is I need to rotate this by 45 degrees, so I'm going to go to object, transform, rotate, and I'm going to type here 45. Now I'm typing here 45, but the rotate function is going to memorize this value, so I do not need to type this every time I open the rotate tab. So this is still okay, and click OK. Why it did not rotate? Let's give me a second. Because I didn't. Okay, see, this is let's go back, let's delete. So this, I'm going to show you now what happens when you make a mistake, so that's a good tutorial video. So I have this now rotate and it's wrong, so click on it, stop the recording, click on it, delete that part, delete this section, yes, and continue with recording. The reason why it didn't rotate this the way I want it is because I didn't expand it, so I need to expand it. Expand appearance, and that means I also need to add that into action. Expand appearance. Okay, and now I can go to transform and rotate, and now we are cooking. Now we are getting, and you see the 45 is still in the memory of Adobe Illustrator, and click OK. And now you see the maze is actually going outside the artboard. I don't want that, so I need to go to object, artboards, fit to selected art, and now it is fitting to the artboard, but that action was not recorded here by the Adobe system, so that means I need to add that. Insert menu item, fit to selected art, click OK. Okay, so fit to selected art, and I'm going to stop the action now, and same as before, I'm going to undo everything I did on the maze. So this is the original, and if I run the code here, so let's click on play, let's see, is the action working? You see, it is asking me to press OK. So the number 31 is already there. It's not asking me to type 31. So if I set it to be 31, it's always going to be 31. But it is asking me to press OK. So if I have Autohotkey running, it would now press OK. And this is the end. This is what I want. And once again, once the action is finished, once you are happy with everything, add the insert menu item, add save, add close, and then stop the recording. So just don't forget that once you are finished with the action, with everything that needs to be done on the file, add save and close, so you don't have multiple tabs open in the Adobe Illustrator without him closing them as he's finishing the files. Okay, let's go back to presentation. Let's see what's next. What's number 4? Ooh, zigzag. Okay, this one is a medium difficulty. Let's see what's medium difficulty. So I need to have my bridge maze again. So that's my bridge maze. Let's click run action, and this is going to be zigzag, record, select all on active artboard, so you already now know this. Go to effect, distort and transform, and zigzag. Oh my, what do we have here? We have disaster, but we need to change this number to 0.03. Oh, I believe this looks nice, and I'm going to click OK, and you will see that, let's extend this a little bit. Come on. you will see that once again it did not record the effect. So that means I need to go insert, menu item, zigzag, and find. The reason why I'm using the find, because I do not know why, but there are some effects I'm going to show you. Let me just click on K. So effects, distort and transform, zigzag. Okay. If you go to effects, let me see, can I find it? Tweak, twist, zigzag. Tweak. There is a twist. You see, you have in the distort and transform, you have twist, and then in warp effect you also have twist. So they have two different effects with the same name. So that is why when I'm not sure is it going to find the correct effect, I'm using the find feature to make sure that is actually in the proper place. So I'm not sure why they just didn't use different names, why they have two same names for two different effects. So that is here, and I like how this is looking. I believe this looks quite nice, and I can press stop here. So that's it, that's the finish, that's the end of the action. And now I'm going to revert this, edit, undo action panel, undo zigzag, and I'm going to run this action. So I'm going to click play, and look what happens now when I click play on this action. Do you see what is happening? I had typed here 0.03, but for the zigzag, the Adobe system is not memorizing that value. So right now, I need that second code of Autohotkey that is going to type 0.03 and then press enter. So I would change that code that I have, that is 42. Instead of 42, I would put 0.03 and I would close it, run it, and what that would do is it would type 0.03 here and then press OK. And that would be the end of the code. And let's run it again. Okay, so this is now even worse, disaster. So you see, when I click the code to run or action to run, you see that this tab here is highlighted. So it's not highlighting just OK, it is also highlighting this. Because this is highlighted, I don't have to physically click on this. So if I move my mouse, so I'm not clicking on that, if I start typing, it is actually typing in that section here. So the Autohotkey is going to type in that section here because it is highlighted. And after it types 0.03, it is going to press OK. And that is going to change your file. Let's revert this. And that is how you can maybe upgrade your mazes. If you scroll through my Creative Fabrica store, you will see lots of mazes with this kind of distortion, and I believe they also look interesting as well. And once again, don't forget save and close at the end. You need to add save and close. Now let's go back to PowerPoint. Let's see what's next. Number 5. Okay, this one is tricky. So we have the maze and we want to apply specific brush on it. So we want to make it into this. Let's go back to maze. Let's go back to this one. When Adobe Illustrator opens up a new file, that brush is not going to be here. That brush is not going to be visible. So first thing that we need to do, we need to get the brush inside this file, this unique file. In order to do that, you need to go to Edit, Paste and back, and you see now the brush is active. So we just need this small portion of the path that has that brush applied on it somewhere on the file. So don't worry about this. This is not going to be printed. This is not going to be visible. This is outside the artboard. So everything that is on the gray area in Adobe Illustrator, so outside the artboard, that is not going to be printed. So it doesn't matter. So you don't have to worry about this here. But we need to do this. We need to get this small path with brush applied on it in order to get brush here on the menu. So now that the brush is in the menu, let's see, is the action still recording? Yes, so the action is still recording. Now I need to select all on active artboard, go to brushes, click on the brush, and now you see the brush has been applied to the maze lines. Now I need to go to Object, Expand Appearance, go to Select All on Active Artboard, and go to Object, Artboard, Fit to Selected Art. And now I can save and close. So let's go to Actions to actually see what was recorded from all of that. So the action recorded brush application, so that's good. Select all on artboard, that's also good, but it did not record the expand. So insert menu, expand appearance. So that was not recorded. What else was not recorded? It did not record fit to selected art. That was also not recorded. And now I can only have save and insert menu item, close. Okay, and now I can stop the action. So what this action is going to do is it is going to, let's delete this. This was when I switched to another file. So this action is going to paste in back this little portion here. It's going to select all on artboard. It's going to apply the brush on everything on artboard. It's going to select once again in everything on artboard, expand appearance, fit to selected art, close, save and close. So that is the action green brush. Let's see actual maze. If you want to change stroke, you can also add select all on active board and change the stroke to, okay, this looks interesting. Maybe 1.5 would look better. Yeah, 1.5 looks better. So you can play with the stroke, you can play with the different settings. Just remember, if the action did not save that, what you were doing, you can do it manually by insert menu item and then type whatever you used from the menu. And that's it. That is how you actually do batch processing. Once you have the actions recorded and everything is working, go to batch, select your action, choose your folder, click OK. After you click OK, let it run. Let it reach the first OK tab, and then activate the Autohotkey and then just let it go. So the Autohotkey is going to take care of it after and pressing the enter or typing something into your that tab of the Adobe Illustrator. Now, I know this is looking like it's extremely complicated, but really it isn't. Everything that I mentioned in this video, it is also explained in Adobe Community in my post, so you can also check it there. I believe this was a visual representation, and it is, I hope it's good enough for you to follow it. If it's not, if something is not clear, please ask me down below in the comments. I have no problem of recording another video that is going to answer your specific question about this. And on another note, I want to say something about my book. When I was recording this video, I went to check KDP page and I just click on the reports by coincidence, and someone, like there's a human out there on this earth right now that bought my largest book. So the largest book Amazon can produce, I made it, it's mine, and somebody bought it. And I can truly say that my KDP life is now complete. I closed the loop, I closed the circle. Someone has bought the huge, giant, biggest book Amazon can deliver. It is shown in my video, and it's 4th of July book, so it's way past 4th of July. I hope they won't mind that it is 4th of July. A book, and I have no idea, did they buy it because of my videos? Are they one of my followers, or was it just a random purchase? But I truly hope that they will leave feedback, not because of the like algorithm and stuff like that. I really want to know their opinion, even if it's a negative feedback. I just want to hear their opinion. I want to hear what they felt when the postman delivered this book, because this book is heavy. It's like 2-3 kilos. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but the book is heavy. It is huge. It is giant. If you didn't see the video, watch it. Check it out, because the book is truly gorgeous. It is a word search puzzle with the 4th of July theme. It's using the words from American Dictionary. It has 828 pages with 820 word search puzzles without solutions. Typically, I do not put solutions in my puzzle books. What I do is I put a note that if you want solutions, you can contact me, and I'm going to send you the solutions in PDF if you really want them. Of course, I do publish some books with solutions, but I try to avoid that if I can, in order to save paper, because I believe that paper with puzzle is more valuable than paper with solution. Okay, so that was the video. It is, I believe, a long one, as usual. I'm like, it's very hard for me to make short videos, obviously. If you have any questions, ask them down below. If everything is unclear, if everything was too complicated and you want me to simplify it even more, ask me down below in the comments. And until next video, I'll see you down below in the comments. Please stay safe, everybody. Take care, and bye.